Hi to all people is watching this program right now. Today I have a very special friend with me, and we'll be talking in the few minutes, in the next minutes, about masculinity and about toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
Sometimes there's a lot of things about men's behavior that we understand men cannot talk, men cannot feel, men cannot express into a mic or in front of a camera. And when men talk about his problem, probably a lot of people thinks he's not a real man because he's talking about his problem. So thank you very much for being here today, bro. This is my friend Te Amargo. He has
thank you.
he's part of El Escuadrón del Pánico in TikTok social media, and we have a very cute relationship by friends. And let's talk about that, bro. Toxic masculinity.
Thank you. Te Amargo want to address a particular topic that's been resonating in media and basically all over the world. And we hear often a lot of people talk about men are toxic. So toxic masculinity, by definition, have 6 components. But at this particular time, we only want to deal with emotional repression. I'm a living example of emotional repression. I'm remember in particular while in prison, the mother of my daughter sent me a message, and the message was, my daughter told me, my mom told me to tell you, I wish you died alone. Those words, actually, I carry those words for over 35 years. While in the work of doing this fellowship with Bard College, this public health fellowship, I came across some information regarding why we should address or try to bring out emotional repression. So in the process of that, I decided to write a letter to my daughter. In this letter, I expressed to my daughter that I regret the fact of having to put her in the midst of adults' hatred. And her response was that all I needed your help. And
so you're telling me that you received a message of your daughter's moms told your daughter, tell him, I want to see die alone. You received that message, and this was in your life for 35 years.
Exactly.
You have to learn to live with like a cursed. I suppose you never look for help. You never talk to anybody what was happening to you. So you were silent with that situation, right?
Of course. This is what usually in the United States, there's this particular thing. If the police arrest you, you are told you have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
So it is not common for men to speak. And in fact, when we go on some live on TikTok, we get a lot of women come and attack.
Yes.
Because for whatever reason, it's men speaking out is not seen right. When men speak out, oftentimes we be accused of calling us mujercita, meaning like
little girl.
Calling you a little girl.
Yeah,
and
that's an insult.
That's an insult.
For example, you're talking that in the work we are realizing in social media, when we as men start explaining the problems that we're living, the issues that are happening every day with fathers of family and all of that, in this kind of countries, we are having an issue, a very problematic situation, and is that we are receiving divorce requests from women. You being a good man, the man, for example, sometimes has received cheating by his wife, and men don't talk about what is happening. Men always get silent with that. So when we start using social media for tell the people all these situations are happening every day, the ladies basically are saying, you have to shut up. You cannot say that.
Exactly.
Because you are a little girl. Because you're not a man. If you talk about your problem, you're not a real man. You, to be a real man, have to be quiet.
You have to be quiet. Real men don't talk about women. This is the
No,
comment.
real men don't talk the problem. For example, Jordan Peterson, that is a famous psychiatric in the United States.
Psychologist, yes.
I think he's psychiatrist. I don't know. Okay, he said not only one time that men doesn't look for psychological help because the men don't like to talk about the problem. The men, how can I say it? That we prefer to have it in our heart,
yes,
and be quiet with that. And we have to search for help. Oh no.
Exactly. See, men seek for help differently by engaging in action. Men are by design. Men are designed to resolve problem, not to talk about the problem. Ooh. It is usually the women that talks about the problem. So when women see us talking, it is presumed. This is the reason why they presume you are behaving like a woman. And men don't talk about the problem. So part of what Te Amargo seeks to do is to create a safe space for men to come talk and feel free and don't need to feel ashamed or don't need to feel as if you're gonna be bullied expressing your emotion. So that's what we seek to do with Te Amargo. That's what we're looking to do, and we're looking to do this by going to barbershops where this is the normal space where most men go and spend time. Very much like women, they go to the salon, but men usually go to the barbershop. So for the reasons that this is where men goes to, this is what I seek to do. And when I go there, I'm seeking to do interviews, and those interviews then will be promoted through social media. So this is what Te Amargo seeks to do.
Do you think this is like a social repression to men?
Of course.
For example, we were talking about toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
I think this is true in some spaces. So there are cases that a man can be toxic, but there are biological things that is not necessarily a toxic thing about men, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you feel right now you're a new man?
Of course, because now I don't have to feel. I don't feel like I'm no mujercita. I feel like a man. I feel like I'm a man, and I'm not. I don't care what anybody say. Because
do you have hate in your heart?
Why? Why would I hate? Why would I hate? See, this is what people don't understand. See, hate is the chains that you carry with yourself. Listen to what I'm saying. Hate is the chains that you carry with yourself. So why would you carry chains? Why would you carry chains? More importantly, there's a study done in Brazil, and by simply allowing men to actually only speak something so simple, they reduce feminicide to 21%. They reduce, I'd rather call it crimes of passion. They reduce it to 21%.
Hold a second.
Go ahead.
Brazil was the first country in America with violence between men and women.
Yes.
And the first country for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. So they stop being in the ranking. They are not in the top of more dangerous countries for women. And you're saying that this problem was resolved because they include men in the solution of the problem?
Something as simple as that, to include men and allow men to talk.
But in this kind of country, for example, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Chile, Argentina,
the culture is somewhat against it.
They doesn't hear the man version.
No.
For example, here we have a women's ministry.
Exactly.
We doesn't have a men's ministry.
And we don't have a men's ministry anyway.
In a lot of countries around the world, there's a women's ministry.
Exactly.
Or women's courts for judged men, but we doesn't have here in the Dominican Republic. So you're saying that if we copy the method that was used in Brazil and we start talking with men, we start hearing what men have to say, probably we're going to have the solution of the problem. That's it.
Simple as that.
Oh my God. That's
and you know what's more important? We're doing it because what you're doing, Invictamen, what you're doing exactly is that. It's giving men a voice. That's what you're doing. And we also are doing that on TikTok. And there's also other people that is doing something similar. So this particular, though it may seem small, insignificant, we will see the results down the line. Because Brazil already proved it. Brazil already proved that this works. And I'm quite sure, you've seen already, you receive a whole bunch of men on your DMs saying like, listen, Invictamen, I appreciate you talking about this. And there's a lot of men that identify because they cannot speak.
Yes, you know that when we was, for example, when we were a child, always we receive the message that men don't cry.
Men don't cry. As a matter of fact, there's a study says that, right? A child before the age of 10, he hears men don't cry 5 more times than the little girl.
Wow, that's amazing.
He hears that 5 more times than the little girl hears it.
So
from very young age, we've been indoctrinated, whatever you want to call it. We've been somewhat scooped, or we've been forced to basically be quiet.
Not only that, the world for a lot of times have think that the only one that is receiving an impact negative in the soul is the woman, and this is not true. The men receive cheating too. The men receive violence too by women, and psychological violence that is very
it's worse than physical.
It's worse sometimes, and these kind of issues are never expressed by publical. I suppose for that reason you're using social media.
Exactly.
Because social media, in the case of TikTok, I have already seen the lives that you do with your friends, and I have been participating with you a lot of time. And there's a lot of hundreds of people watching and hearing and writing the questions about a lot of men that are recognizing they need help. A lot of men that are recognizing my life is better right now because you are giving us this message. And it's a message that love your wife, love your children, and love you like men. It's important what you have to do. It's important what you have to say. It's important how do you feel. And this is the first time in history that I received this kind of message for men.
Exactly.
Do you agree?
Of course. And you know what's crazy, Invictamen, that for the first time in the history of humanity now, man is actually allowed to speak. Well, not allowed to speak, but rather, is taking the space, or is taking, because it takes a lot of courage. I'm quite sure you receive a lot of hate. I receive hate. And they try to block our channels on TikTok because they don't want us to talk. And then the crazy part about it is some other men also come and attack us just because we're bringing a message to try to reconstruct men, to let men, to teach men to be men, not to be toxic, but rather, to respect and be a rightful husband, but not to go and engage with a type of woman that is actually going to destroy them.
A lot of women are saying that this is a hate message. Is that true?
Of course not. Why? We love women.
No. So if we say men, you have to love yourself. If we say men, you have to talk about your problems. If we say men, you can search for help if you need it.
But how can you love somebody if you don't love yourself?
This is not a hate message.
How can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Ooh.
And this is what we try to teach. We try to tell men, listen, you need to love yourself first. How can you love somebody if you don't love yourself?
Wow.
How?
Wow.
Can you do that?
No, that's
you can. And this is what we try to teach. We try to teach them to love themselves first.
If you don't love you, you will not take care about your body. If you don't love you, you will not take care about your health. If you don't love you, you cannot take care about others. You have to learn how to love you. Men have to understand you are an important person.
And
you are an important individual.
Key part over here, real quick, that see, most of these men, what happens is this: they give so much of themselves, they deplete themselves so much of themselves to a woman, right? That this is the type of man that when that woman leaves him, then he feels like he has nothing left because he basically gave his life to this woman. It's not right, and this is not justifiable to actually unalive a person because of that. But those are the things that lead some men to do those things. It lead those men to actually go ahead and unalive a woman. Why? Because he feels, see, women don't have to basically construct themselves. Women are born with their value. Men, on the other way, has to build their value. So if I build my whole value and I became, let's say, a millionaire, and I gave all my millions to you as a woman, some men feel like you my property. And, that's not right. But who's to say how he should handle his money or how he should behave? I cannot go in his head and tell him, program him and say, no, you shouldn't think like that, because we cannot do that. Mm-hmm. So this type of man is the man that we say to women, you have to be careful. You have to be careful, because the type of man that lavishes you and gives you, for instance, in 2 weeks of seeing you, go ahead and give you a Lamborghini. Like, come on.
You have to open your eyes.
You have to open your eyes. First. You have to think, why is this guy giving me so much?
And not taking
what did
a decision.
What did I do to earn this?
Not taking a decision, basically using the feelings. Take a decision using the logical.
Exactly.
You have to study the person you are talking to. You have to check if he's not a good man or if he's a very good man. This is the kind of message that we are telling to all you are watching us right now. We're going to finish this, but first I wanted to give to the people a final message.
Well, you're going to do that or I'm going to do that?
No, you.
Okay. So the final message is this. Bitter tea, as te amargo is a drink that is hard to swallow. Ooh. Okay? It's hard to swallow.
Te amargo in English it is?
Bitter tea.
Bitter tea.
Bitter tea.
It's a sip that is not.
It's not palatable to your taste.
Oh, okay.
It's not something that you want to drink.
But
it's good to your body. It's good.
It is
it's
necessary.
medicine. It's medicine. It's medicine to your body.
Without sugar, it's better.
Without sugar. Okay?
Wow.
It's medicine to your body. So what we're saying is, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to reconstruct men to be better men. I'm seeking, I say, all I would like to see is one, because one woman on a life is too much. A life is worth too much. So we bring in this message to see if we can stop by communicating to men, by allowing men to see and think and know that, we're here to hear you and incorporate you into this conversation. Then we hopefully can prevent one on a life of a woman. That's what we're seeking to do.
Yes, that I want to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this in front of camera. It's the first time that I'm going to give you that. And is that one of the best things has happened to me in the last months has been knowing you. You're an awesome person. You're a very good friend. We talk by phone every day, all nights. We are in phone sending back information of studies for example, the APA, American Psychological Association, what says about a lot of topics of like these ones. And I'm very happy to have you here one more time, bro.
Thank you.
And I hope,
same here.
I hope you to be with us again in another program, in another episode of the Invictamen space here in Fire Media. Subscribe to this channel, YouTube channel, Fire Media. Please leave us your comment. What do you think about that? Do you want to see another episode with him again? What kind of topic do you want we to talk here? My name is Invictamen RD. We're going to stay with you in the next times. God bless you. Vaya cruz que llevas tú, homeboy. ¿Cuánto duró?